morning and welcome. This is Newsfirst in Focus. It's always a pleasure to have you on board this evening as well. Now, I have a special guest this evening with me in the studios, and who is that? That is the Deputy Director General of Tourism Malaysia, Dato' Azizan Nordin. A very good evening and welcome to the show.
Very good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation to come on air.
It's always a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you.
Mr. Nordin. Starting off, what is the purpose of your visit to Sri Lanka this time around? This is the first visit.
Yeah, this is the first visit for me, and also for Tourism Malaysia. This is the first grand visit that we have in order to promote Malaysia to the Sri Lankan market. And with us this time, we have about 34 organizations comprising of hoteliers and also travel agents, also airlines to come to Sri Lanka in order to promote Sri Lankans to come to Malaysia.
Now, you have been attached to Ministry of Tourism Malaysia for nearly 36 years.
Yes.
And you are the Deputy Director General of Tourism Malaysia for the last 6 years. What is your role in the capacity of Deputy Director General of Tourism Malaysia?
I am very much presently doing on planning, which include research, IT, but also off and on I help my other colleague to do on promotion. So on this trip I am doing more on the promotion for tourism to Malaysia.
Now, Visit Malaysia 2014 was launched in October 2013. Since then, how well has the campaign been received by tourists? It's just 3 months since 2014 now.
Well, in terms of the number of tourists to Malaysia, it's still early to say because it takes about 2 to 3 months for us to get the data on tourist arrival. But basing on the occupancy at the hotels, I should say that we are doing well. Yeah, in terms of the tourist arrival to Malaysia for the Visit Malaysia Year campaign, and we really hope that this year we can get the target number of about 28 million tourists.
Why is Malaysia attractive?
Well, we are actually blessed with good weather. We don't have any extreme weather condition, and also we are situated halfway between the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. And in terms of the resources for tourism, we have a lot of green jungles, forests, and also sunshine, beach, and the sea.
What does Malaysia have to offer tourists when compared to other Asian countries, Dato'?
Well, for Malaysia, we are very much a multicultural society, and with that we have Malay, Chinese, Indian, Caucasian, even a small number of Sinhalese who stay in Malaysia, and that's what makes us the Malaysia to Asia destination. And I believe this is the one point that really sells Malaysia in the tourism industry, and we have been using that tagline Malaysia to Asia since 1999. It has been very successful for us.
There are many events that we are promoting right now here in Sri Lanka. Those are the F1, the CIMB Golfing Challenge, One Malaysia Mega Sales, Penang World Music Festival, as well as places like the Lego Land Theme Park and Kidzania. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, that's right.
So these are the events that you promote here in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
How attractive is Malaysia as a destination globally?
Globally, in terms of numbers, last year we got about 25.7 million tourists, and the year before we got 25.03 million, and make us the number 10th in the world most visited country. And we are striving hard to maintain that ranking. And in terms of events, that what you said earlier, this year we are promoting more than 50 events that we are going to organize. Yeah, so we hope that we can get more tourists, especially from Sri Lanka, to understand and to aware of the events that we have in Malaysia, and to come to Malaysia and try this experience.
Data tourist arrivals from Sri Lanka stood at 64,051 in the year 2013, which was an increase of 2% from 62,821 tourists in 2012. Now this year, you all intend to increase this number to 70,000, just 6,000, just over 6,000 when compared to the figures in 2013. Is this a realistic target?
It is a realistic target because basing on the present flight frequency that we have between the two countries. But we sincerely hope that the airlines, Malaysia Airlines, Air Asia, even Air Lanka will increase their flights between these two cities, between Kuala Lumpur and Colombo. With that we can get, hopefully we can get more than 70,000 tourists coming to Malaysia.
Malaysia is looking at being a tourist destination for many countries. However, even now you see the visa restrictions for many of the individuals who are visiting Malaysia at present. Do you all intend to lift the visa and stamp it on arrival in the near future? Dato, is it something that is in the minds of the Malaysian authorities at present?
Yeah, for Malaysia, not all countries, nationals need to come to Malaysia for they have visa to come to Malaysia, but from South Asia market, even China, you need visa to come to Malaysia because of obvious reasons. So we are looking at
what are the reasons that we're talking
reasons
about?
That there are many people who come to Malaysia to work rather than they stay on rather than coming as a tourist. So that's why that we have to check. But I can say that many of the Sri Lankans that go to Malaysia, there are more visitors, and for Malaysia we are working with the authorities concerned to look at it objectively. Probably we have to look at the visa on arrival or even special visa arrangement for group tours.
Now, Malaysia's tourism sector continued to be a significant contributor to the country's economy in the year 2013. What are the problems faced by Tourism Malaysia when pushing one of the driving sectors in your country's economy?
Well, the main challenge is actually to get more flights, more airlines to fly to Malaysia so that we can get direct flights to the various points in the world. Presently it's not many as compared to the other countries. That's why that we are working with the other foreign airlines that flies from the Middle East. So they help us to service to get groups coming in from South America, even from Russia. So this is why that we are working with the foreign airlines to bring tourists to Malaysia. So this is the main challenge that we have.
Let's talk about Visit Malaysia year 2014. Now this project, this campaign is expected to see around 28 million tourists visiting the country and generating receipts of up to 76 billion Malaysian ringgit. Possible? Realistic? How?
Well, it has been put up by the government, and we are working on it. Because in the past, in the year 1990, when we did our first Visit Malaysia year campaign, in 1989 we only got about 4.2 million tourists, and then when the Visit Malaysia year campaign 1990, we got more than 7.2 million tourists, an increase of about 53%. So it is possible, but it is possible. But the thing is, we have to look at objectively, and we have to work hard, and also it all depends on the situation of the markets that we are looking at. So any unrest or any natural disaster in certain markets, it will have an impact on the number of tourists that comes to Malaysia.
9 months, 28 million tourists.
Yeah.
Possible?
Possible, it's possible.
Very optimistic you are.
Yeah.
Now, terrorism in Bali has always affected tourism in Malaysia. In the recent past as well, we saw several threats being leveled by terrorists in Bali as well. Do you all take this seriously in terms of tourism and even the country's economy for that matter?
Well, in terms of security, we are always tied up on our security, and so far we have not been getting that kind of incidents in Malaysia. It always happen elsewhere, and we hope it won't happen in Malaysia, especially on terrorism. So we are very much optimistic about that.
The recent incident which took place on Saturday, a Malaysian Airlines flight suddenly disappears in the seas of Vietnam and Beijing. How will this affect?
Well, in terms of the incident on Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 for Tourism Malaysia, we are very sad, with this incident, and our heart goes to the family and those on board. and we hope that we can do a lot of more to support the families that are affected. But on the other hand, we are also working on after a while we still
We're
have
talking
to do
about the
promotion.
national carrier of Malaysia, and the last 3 days stocks have fallen sharply, 18% of Malaysian Airlines.
Share.
Long run,
that's
how
right.
is it going to affect Malaysia? Will this have a major impact on the country's economy?
It will have a certain impact, but for us, we are also working with the other airlines. Not only our national carrier, but for the other airlines that flies between Malaysia and the other cities. So we hope that we can work with the other airlines too. Meanwhile, hopefully that Malaysia Airlines comes back to normal.
Is Malaysia a top destination for medical tourists? Is that something that you are currently working on, Dato'?
We came in rather late. The other countries around Asia, they were really promoting on this medical tourism.
We see many visits to Singapore and even India for medical needs.
Even Thailand. But now Malaysia is working on it. We have more than 200 private hospitals in Malaysia under the Association of Private Hospital, and we are working with them about 35 private hospitals which is accredited to go to promote on these packages, and we are working with them well, and I think we are making the mark. We are getting more foreign patient tourists to come to Malaysia for the treatment.
Does Malaysia want to be positioned as a medical tourist destination in the future?
Well, tourism is something that like what people say, jack of all trades. But we would like to be a master of all trade too. So medical tourism is something new. So it will appeal to certain market areas. So we cannot really promote medical tourism in the European market. So we promote on ecotourism and so forth. So for the Asia and the ASEAN region, we would like to be a destination for medical tourism.
Let's talk about Sri Lanka now, Dato'. Sri Lanka is looking at tourist arrivals of 1 million compared to the 28 million that is expected by the Malaysian government. Are we on the right track to achieve this target?
Well, I should say that like any other national tourist officers, you already have your strategy, so you have to work on it. For us, we have been working for a long time. I am not familiar with the strategy that you have, but I believe they are also doing the same thing like what we are doing in terms of doing promotion overseas, participating in tourism fair overseas, and organizing fam visits to come to your country.
But there's so much to see in Malaysia, unlike Sri Lanka. So are we on the right track? Do we have the right strategy on this?
It started with Malaysia too.
You have 36 years of experience in the Malaysian tourism industry.
Well, it is with Malaysia too, whereby when we started it's only the beaches, the jungle and the city itself, and then we expand it to the other niche product. This is something that the authority and also the private sectors we have to look at. So we slowly expand our niche product so that to cater to all kinds of market segment. I can give you one very good example. I wonder whether you have seen the one American chopper. So we brought them to Malaysia. Now we have one Malaysian chopper, and we are promoting Superbike to come to Malaysia. So we have companies now offering big bikes for rental. So this is something that you have to develop over the years.
What can we learn from Malaysia?
Well, number one is that you have to find good partnership. Partnership can be with the airlines, with the hoteliers, with the agents. And also over and above that, the media, like your good self. And the other era that we are going into is the social media. It's something that with Tourism Malaysia we are working on, like Twitter's, Facebook, online promotion. These are the things that we are looking at now to get more of the younger generation to understand about the destination. There's a group of people they call bloggers. So we befriend them, and then we get more exposure on this special medium.
What have you learned from the father of Malaysia, Mr. Mahathir Mohamad, in the way forward for our country?
Well, he's a very famous figure in the sense for the foreigners and for us too, that he has bring a lot for the development of tourism industry. And I should say that we are lucky. Almost all the Prime Minister of Malaysia, they are the number one salesman for the tourism industry. And the Honourable Tun Mahathir, he started the Vision 2020, and we have our vision too. In the year 2020 we hope to receive 36 million tourists, 168 billion ringgit. So that's our target, and we are working on it.
In terms of your country, in terms of where you're positioned in terms of tourism, do you think Malaysia has everything to offer for a tourist across the world?
Yes, we do. We have the resources, the products for all the market segments in the world, especially for families, individuals, couples to come to Malaysia. They can always try all the products that we have, and we are very much adaptable to any kind of tourist segments that comes to Malaysia.
Why not visit Paris? Why not visit Italy? And why must someone visit Malaysia?
Well, as you can see, like what I've said, we are very much truly a multicultural society and a multi-religion. So we have a lot of festivals and religious celebration in Malaysia. If you want to find a society where they live happily, it is more in Malaysia.
Finally, I have not been to Malaysia, and why must I visit Malaysia, Dato'?
Well, foremost, I would like to invite you to come to Malaysia together with your station. And why you should come to Malaysia? Well, we have everything for you that you want to. Number one, like what I said earlier, we don't have any extreme weather condition. And number two is that English is widely spoken in Malaysia. If you go to Malaysia either on a group tour or going individual FIT, it's easy for you to move around. Number three, in terms of food, you have the Malay, Indian, Chinese, European food dishes that we offer. In fact, for the Muslim, it's almost the whole country you can get halal food. Children, especially when they go from the Muslim countries, they find it easy because we have the various fast food outlets all halal. And other than that is the infrastructure that we have. We have good highways. You can literally have breakfast in Singapore, early lunch in Kuala Lumpur, and early dinner in Penang. So you can see the kind of highways we have. And in terms of telecommunication, you can reach your country and from any part of Malaysia.
Thank you very much,
Most welcome.
for joining us right here on
Thank you so
Newsfirst
much.
Focus. Pleasure to have you on board, as usual, right here on our show.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much.